guys? Welcome to another deck video. Today we're going to be talking about Mega Manectric, or more accurately, Manectric.deck. When we first built Mega Manectric, it was, okay, what do we charge up with Manectric, right? Like, Mega Manectric's Turbo Bolt is super good. It's the same reason Arcanine Break is crazy good. Like, what do you charge up? Do you charge up other Manectrics? Do you charge up Lightning Pokemon? Do you charge up a different type? Like, what do you charge up? So, with that in mind, you can build this deck a whole bunch of different ways. You don't have to build it necessarily lightning focused. However, we decided to build it lightning and fire focused because those two kind of just naturally synergize with each other. And I also liked a deck in standard way back when it was Manectric Pyroar, and this kind of works out well that way. So, we do play the one Mega Manectric, which is kind of the focus of the deck. You want to try to get this out as early as possible. However, we do play quite a thick Manectric line as is. We do play a 4-4 line plus the Mega. We play this Manectric here. From Primal Clash, it does discard all Lightning and automatically paralyze your opponent's Pokemon, so it's not a bad one to charge up. It is an EX, though, so you have to keep that in mind. This one has attached 2 energies from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. That's like mainly for mid to late game when your Mega Manectric dies. If you still need that one turn of acceleration, you can. It just doesn't do any damage. The Energy Connect is 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's the Leafeon, so it punishes Energy Flood decks. And then you have this Manectric EX going back when. It is the exact same wording and card, everything as Zebstrika Next Destinies. So you have 40 and they can't play items, and then 80 Snipe. Not the best because it's an EX, but hey, it is kind of, you have an answer to everything. You have Auto Paralyze, Acceleration outside of the Mega form, Punishing Flood decks, and then Lock decks. Like, you have them all. So we do play a 4-4 line. Here with the Electronics we're choosing to play, plus that Mega. You want to try to get that Mega out as early as possible because 110 a turn is busted, plus being able to accelerate to your bench Pokemon. Really good stuff. So let's take a look at what we're accelerating. Like I said, we are playing Fire, and we are playing Pyroar. We decided to play a thinner 2-2-1 line here. I like this just because you can always have this Pyroar up and ready available. You do 110 with the Mega, and then you accelerate 2 Fires to this, and then turn after turn you're going to be able to Flare Command whatever you want up while dishing out 110 damage over and over again. I kind of like this combo a lot. It does pivot more on trying to save your Mega Manectric. So we don't play a Mega Turbo in this deck, but I would consider playing a Mega Turbo. It's one of the few decks that I would. I'd also consider playing an Energy Switch, which we don't play, just so that you can max potion that Mega Manectric and then still get the attack off by attaching and Energy Switching or attaching and Mega Turbo. We do play a Celebration Wind Shaman to kind of alleviate that. So I will put that there just to let you know. So we are playing the 2-2-1, like I said, Flare Command, super good, but we also have the Break, does 180 damage and 52 itself. So the 52 itself we mitigate by playing a Protection Cube, but 180 damage for 3 energies is no slouch, and especially since you can do it to anything by being able to Flare Command. So we do play a 2-1-1 line there. Like I said, the Shaman instead of the Energy Switch or Mega Turbo, but I would probably prefer that over the Shaman, to be honest. And then we are playing Fire and Lightning, so we are playing a Sky Judgment, Speed Gain Quasar here, just because it synergizes well when you play both those types of energies. Don't always just sit on the bench and like just have this threat of always being able to do 150. So that's it for Pokemon. It is more Manectric focused, but that is a-okay, because Mega Manectric is really good, and it has enough viable backup attackers to keep it afloat. In terms of support Pokemon, we are playing all 10. No reason not to play any of these, just the maximum consistency, maximum support. Porygon Z is not really ever needed. You're dealing 110 a turn, you're going to one-shot a lot of things. If you're not one-shotting them, then you'll get them next turn for sure. This deck could use a little bit of Snipe, I would say, so maybe a Tapu Koko even. I would say that would be a good card to add as well. So drop the Shaman, find room for a Mega Turbo and Energy Switch or a Tapu Koko. Moving on to search cards, you're going to have Rosie's Research, Bebe's Search, Pokemon Collector, Wally, Skyla, Karina. Kind of nothing out of the norm there. In terms of draw, we're going to have Juniper and Sycamore, Admin and N, Copycat and Colress, as well as Sage's Training and Professor Oak. We don't mind Sage's Training in this deck because energies in the discard's a good thing, so you can Turbo Bolt them back, and so you can Speed Gain them back. Recovery cards, we're going to have Shrub Card and Marley's, standard stuff there. For draw 2 cards, we're going to have Mallow, Teammates, and Twins, and the only reason Twins is in here is because if you have struggled to get that Mega evolved, they might be taking that first knockout on an Electrike or support Pokemon of some sort. So Twins is really good for that early game before you get the Manectric up. Switching cards, we have Lysander, Guzma, and AZ. Nothing too out of the normal there. And then your final cards, Hexmaniac, of course, Blacksmith to help charge up that Pyroar if your Mega Manectric's down. And then Iris, just so that Mega Manectric can be pushed over those thresholds. It does 110 right now, so 30-40 damage, going to be able to one-shot most Stage 2s, so Iris helps in that regard. You could add more Fire Pokemon into this deck. You could add the Benchtini into the deck and the Volcanion. Strictly because you do play Blacksmith, and that just unlocks both of those potentials. So having a Benchtini in this deck wouldn't be a bad idea either. I would probably drop a Litleo for that, just go 1/1/1 Pyroar, break the line, and then drop the Litleo for the Victini. As a suggestion as well. Search cards here. We're going to have Computer Search, Level Ball, Swoop Teleporter, Evo Soda, P-Com, Luxury Ball, and Ultra Ball. Really, no surprise there. Those 7 are in most every deck. Draw cards, we're going to have Oak, Misty's, Battle Compressor, and Bill, and Secret Mission. Secret Mission is going to help get those energies into the discard pile even more. You want to be able to Turbo Bolt over and over and over again. For recovery cards, you have Item Finder and Junk Arm, of course, in every deck. Pal Pad versus Seeker, Rescue Stretcher, and Super Rod, the 6 standard ones there. Nothing too bananas. Switching cards, we have Warp Point and Scoop Up. Pretty also standard there. You don't really need extras of those. That's going to be totally fine. Then to finish it out, you're going to have Windstorm, Battle Compressor, get those energies in the discard, like I said. Professor Oak's Invention. And then to keep your Mega Manectric alive, we do have Max Potion and actually Super Potion. Not seen in many decks, but it does work well in here because the longer you can keep Mega Manectric alive, the better your late game is going to be. So that's why I said that you could definitely find room for a Mega Turbo or an Energy Switch in here, and you can find room for that by dropping Shaman and Litleo. If you're looking at drawing something else from here, even Acrobike or Bill, one of those two could be dropped. Secret Mission, if you're not a fan of that card, even though that card is gaining more and more favor in our opinion, it is starting to find its way into more and more conversations. So far, like I said, we're dropping Shaman and Litleo, Energy Switch, Mega Turbo, and then the Victini. That's what we're trying to find room for right now. I should shut up about that. But then we also have Broken Time Space. You are playing an Evolution deck. And then Rough Seas to help your Mega Manectric stay alive for longer. Really helps against spread-based decks too. So those are really all you're going to need. There's nothing really else that you could play like a Scorched Earth, but we don't play enough Fires to really benefit from that. And then Pokemon here, we're going to have Tool cards, Floatstone and Muscle Band. Pretty standard there. We are going to have Hard Charm, help your Mega Manectric keep alive longer. Also a Hard Charm on your Pyroar Break makes it only do 30 to itself, so that is helpful there. But we do have that Protection Cube for the Pyroar Break especially. 50 damage to yourself, so you're lower from 160 to 110, and it is an EX because you're evolving from the Hollow. It's a little bit scary, so Protection Cube is in there just so you don't do that damage to yourself, but Hard Charm works just fine, but you'd rather want to have that on your Mega Manectric. You are playing all Elite Four cards plus Dowsing Machine. Nothing too special or crazy there. These cards are in virtually every single deck. And then for energies, no special energies because you really don't need them, but we are going to lean heavily more on lightning. You have 3, 6, 9 lightnings as opposed to 5 fires. Right now, Pyroar and Mega or Rayquaza are the only fire users, so you only need low amounts of fire. You really want to get those lightning energies onto your Manectrics and your Mega Manectric, so that's why it's a little bit more important here. However, if you go into Victini or Volcanion, if you add some extra fire Pokemon, you could put 1 or 2 over to there, just to kind of balance it out a little bit more. In those situations, if you really wanted to add like a letter, you could. But keep in mind, you can add a whole bunch of techs into this deck if you need like a Psychic Attacker, or a Fighting Attacker, or a Grass Attacker, or whatever. You can add 1 or 2 of those, because it's really not hard to get those where you need them to be. So if you want to add any cute tech that you want to, it is very, very easy to add it to this deck especially. So yeah, that does it for Mega Manectric. If you have any questions about it, please let us know. I would love to answer your questions. If not, hope you guys have a great rest of your day.